Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment to share your thoughts, and follow us on Facebook for more updates on Nigeria's leadership, legacy, and the stories shaping our nation. In a nation frequently divided by politics, power, and partisanship, there are moments that remind us of our shared humanity, moments that transcend headlines and touch the heart of the people. President Bola Tinubu's recent visit to Kano to mourn the late Alhaji Aminu Dantata was one of those moments. It was not just a condolence visit, it was a symbolic act that spoke volumes about leadership, values, and national conscience. Tinubu's message during the visit was deeply personal and heartfelt. Referring to Dantata as part of my family, he spoke not as a president delivering protocol-laden condolences, but as a man who had drawn strength and prayers from a moral compass during his political journey. His tribute, "We have lost a titan. We have lost the conscience of our country," was more than just praise. It was an acknowledgement of the rare character and influence Dantata wielded in Nigeria's social and economic fabric. The public and official reactions that followed were striking in their unanimity. Kano Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf described the visit as a powerful demonstration of leadership, compassion, and respect. Across political lines, Dantata's and Tinubu's gesture bridged division. The outpouring of emotion from ordinary citizens, some lining the streets in silence, others offering prayers, highlighted how deeply Dantata's life and death affected the people. The visit itself was notable not just for its purpose, but for its subtle diplomacy. Tinubu bypassed the Amir's palace and the government house, perhaps in recognition of the fragile political dynamics in Kano. Instead, he chose to go straight to the Dantata residence. It was a quiet but profound decision, sending a message. In times of mourning, humility and sincerity outweigh political posturing. The impact of the visit rippled far beyond the borders of Kano. It reminded Nigerians that leadership is not just about laws and policies, but about presence, empathy, and shared grief. It humanized the presidency. For a leader often perceived through the lens of political maneuvering, this was Tinubu in a different light, acknowledging a man whose wealth was measured in both naira and compassion. Why does this visit matter? Because it shines a light on the kind of legacy we often overlook in our obsession with politics and power. Alhaji Aminu Dantata didn't make headlines with scandal or controversy. He made an impact through quiet service, building dialysis centers, funding schools, mediating disputes, and supporting the underprivileged. In a society where billionaires are often disconnected from the grassroots, Dantata was an exception. His philanthropic initiatives were as vast as they were targeted. From building and equipping a state-of-the-art hemodialysis center in Kano, to supporting girl child education, to donating N$1.5 billion for flood victims in Borno, Dantata gave not just money, but dignity. His donations weren't mere public relations stunts, they were structured interventions that addressed real needs. Education was another cornerstone of his legacy. He funded scholarships, built school facilities, and supported institutions like Al-Kalam University. His aim wasn't just literacy, it was empowerment. He believed that knowledge was the first step towards self-reliance and societal transformation. And he lived that belief even in old age. In terms of community development, Dantata was a quiet builder. He invested in people and peace. In a particularly moving example, he once mediated a land inheritance dispute in Kano without even meeting the families involved, such was his reputation for fairness. He was a civic statesman without holding public office, a bridge in times of division, and a moral anchor in moments of drift. His social influence reached across generations. Young entrepreneurs sought his guidance. Religious leaders respected his balance. Politicians, regardless of party, sought his counsel. In a culture often dominated by ego and arrogance, Dantata exemplified humility, restraint, and principle. His life reminded us that influence need not be loud to be lasting. Voices from Kano reflect this deep respect. As Nigeria looks ahead, we need more like him. We need leaders who show up when it matters, not just in times of triumph, but in seasons of loss. We need philanthropists who solve problems, not sponsor parties. And we need a public that remembers, reflects, and demands more from those who hold influence. So once again, if you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook for more stories that matter. Let's keep the legacy of Aminu Dantata alive, not just in memory, but in action. From market traders to students, artisans to imams, the refrain is the same: he helped us, even when we didn't know him personally. That is the definition of legacy, not in skyscrapers or stocks, but in the gratitude of those whose lives were quietly uplifted. The media's coverage has echoed this sentiment. Outlets across Nigeria, Daily Trust, This Day, Arise News, have painted a portrait of a man whose wealth was accompanied by wisdom, and whose philanthropy wasn't tainted by political ambition. They've captured a national mourning, not because a tycoon died, but because a rare example of selfless leadership left us. In the end, Dantata's legacy is a blueprint. For the business elite, he sets the standard for giving back with dignity. For the political class, he is a reminder that public trust is earned through integrity, not noise. And for everyday Nigerians, he is proof that you don't need a title to transform your community. President Tinubu's visit acknowledged all of this. And perhaps in doing so, it challenged us, citizens, leaders, and observers, to reevaluate what we celebrate in this country. Wealth without impact is hollow. Power without compassion is dangerous. But a life like Dantata's, that is the kind of wealth that endures.